The cause of salvation was sin. And what is sin? The Bible says in 1 John 3:4 that sin is the transgression of the law. I am the way, I am the truth, I am the life. No man can come to God except by me. There is no alternative. Well, in part 1, I tried to talk about the cause of salvation, which simply I said is sin. Sin caused us to need salvation. Because what sin did was to separate us from God and all that flows from God. And if we are delivered from the consequence alone, that means we will always continue to sin. So we needed to also have victory over the cause of sin and the sin itself as an entity. That was why Jesus came. So that takes me now to what is the cost of salvation, which was the original question, but I think the person wanted to talk about cost. Now, what is the cost of salvation? Salvation cost God. That's the answer. But the Bible makes me so that the fullness of Godhead was in Jesus Christ bodily. In Colossians 2 verse 9. The fullness of Godhead was inside him. The Bible says in John 3:34 that he was given the Spirit without measure. Everything called God was inside that body they called Jesus. 1 Timothy chapter 3 verse 16. The Bible says without controversy, great is the mystery of godliness. He said God was manifest in the flesh. He said he was justified in the spirit. He preached to the Gentiles. He was seen of angels. He said he was believed in the word and he was received up into glory. And who we knew that fulfilled that was Jesus Christ of Nazareth. So it cost God himself to save man. In Acts chapter 20, the Bible says the church of Jesus Christ that he has purchased, I think it should be verse 28, by the blood of God. It didn't say the blood of the Son of God. Yes, we understand. Jesus Christ said, I and my Father are one, John 10:30. So that's why I said precisely in the real sense of it, salvation calls God. Everything that is called God was the cost of salvation. And that cost was packaged inside Jesus Christ, who we know as the Son of God, which more or less is God in the flesh. That's the cost of salvation. It cost him to leave his glory in heaven, to come to this world and do what we cannot do for ourselves, so that what he did could now be appropriated by us for our salvation. That was what Jesus came to do. He came to save us. He came to do what we couldn't do. He came to pay the price for our sins, so that when that is done and it has been done, now we can be reconciled back to God. Sin separated us, but salvation is to bring us back unto him, to make us at one with him. That is what is called atonement, at one-ment. In other words, to be reconciled back to God. It cost God everything he is and everything he had. And that's why we should not take it lightly. If you are listening and watching this video cast and you have not actually received that gift of salvation, it's your opportunity to please accept the fact that Jesus has paid the price of sin. You don't need to bear the burden again. You don't need to go to hell. That's the good news. It's not that you are going to hell. You don't need to go to hell because Jesus has paid the price, and you just need to grab it and say, Father, I thank you for Jesus has died for me. He has died for my sins. Now I have the forgiveness and I have the power to live above sin. Thank you for helping me to be a believer in Jesus Christ. God bless you.